Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Show up here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Bodies by Jeremy Jones.
Welcome, Lions fans. Let's go. Yes, let's see what we got here in the chat. Go to the other side. Start at the top. We got Dwayne Keene. Let's go, Detroit Lions. One pride, Kings of the North Division champion. Tired, never back down. 15-2. Let's make it 1-0 in the playoffs. That's what I'm gonna add. Henry Gray, Bill T, Paul Jones, Donkey Kong, Dwayne Keene again, Ricky Seacott, Jim Jackson, Davey, all good to see you, brothers. Man, David Montgomery's a full go. He actually interviewed after practice. Just I won't be on a snap count. I think he will, but he's not on a snap count. Broski Bear in the chat. Good to see you, brother. But he was a full go at practice, not limited. He was a full go. So that's a start. Hokey doo. The train's gonna start leaving for the Super Bowl. Choo choo. We still got to get through it. Let's not look past it. Even though they do have a weak rushing defense, the rushing defense of the Commanders is not good, and they also don't have that high of a sack rate. They're doing okay, but they're not great. Already, there she goes again. Yes, yes. Let's make it a true. There she goes. Yes, yes, yes. God, I wish I could get that to be a gift with the music. It would be great. With that being said, their passing defense is good yardage wise, but gives up a lot of touchdowns. They're not good at covering in the red zone. Their red zone percentage is higher. Uh, their rushing defense actually keeps people from rushing into the end zone well, but it's from outside of the red zone. They give up a lot of big chunk plays in the run game, as we saw with Bucky Irvin, who damn near had 100 yards himself. I don't know. I think it's Calvin Shepard because Calvin Shepard was not an Aaron Glenn hire. He was a Dan Campbell hire because Mark Delian was the AD hire and he was fired due to conduct unbecoming after year one. So I just, with the way you listen, and Calvin Shepard almost sounds like he's a coach already, like he's already the DC when he talks in his pressers. Go back and watch those. Ju- Don't take my word for it. Just see what I saw. That's what I'm saying. Um, I don't think we bring anybody else in. Just it's either going to be him or Terrell Williams because both of those are Dan Campbell. Yeah, too many people got soft and blocked him on stuff, so he's not blocked on our channel. I don't allow people to get soft. So a lot of our talk about our coordinators leaving. Let's worry about the Super Bowl, then see what happens. Right now, it's all about the Super Bowl. Go Lions! Yes, that's it. That's what I see. Fruity Fred's in the chat. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, I do think Shepard, because he's been here longer, he knows it. The defensive personnel has worked with him since 2022. Right. Jim Jackson, that's the thing. And, everybody talking about these lateral moves. Any assistant coach is a lateral move. If you are not being promoted from offensive coordinator to head coach, that's a lateral move. I don't care if they add the Jim Jackson. Please, though. Right. We are all there. Donkey Kong, I know who you are. Won't say your name here, brother, but I know who you are. Brent DeWitt, Jim Jackson, Fred Peterson, all of you guys that have been watching me. We all know that the Super Bowl has been the goal. It has been the goal since the uniform reveal for the alternates when they changed everything this year. Yep, it's fourth and Lombardi from here on out. Go Lions. 100%. Yeah, I'm so glad somebody referenced that, Brent DeWitt. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, all, got to go grab my lunch real quick. Hey, Moonscar, good to see you. But you referenced a key thing there, fourth and Lombardi. Exactly, Donkey Kong. It is nice. And the difference is we have been using a spy more. It just isn't your traditional spy that you're used to seeing for a QB spy. It's leaving a guy either in the flat in the zone or it's a roaming contained spy from the middle linebacker position. Sometimes it's Jack Campbell. Sometimes it's Trevor Nowaski. Sometimes it's Ben Neiman. But you'll notice that they don't really leave the middle of the line. Broski Bear, I see the dynamic duo is here. Hokey Doo and Moonscar Blade. Yes, yes. The best thing about what I'm seeing is Dan Campbell said it best. I want these guys to get a job. But guess what? As long as we're in the playoffs, they're not leaving. So the focus is the team. But the week one, there's no opponent to play for, to prepare for. So they're able to do the generic 20 scripted plays they normally use. Now, for each opponent, they change 5 to 10 of those plays based off of the scheme they base for the opponent you're facing. But they have their base plays, which is 20 plays they run all the time. So They did a walkthrough, they did a video day, and then they did it to go over their own inequities in past games. That's the, what is that called? Quality assurance or quality assurance video watch. We might just be that, broski. At the same time, the Rams aren't that good outside in the cold. We had Matt Stafford here. We knew what he was like outside in the cold. Remember the game he threw 4 interceptions in Denver in the middle of winter? Or the 3 interceptions in Green Bay? Or the 2 interceptions in Chicago to lose the game by 3 points? Let's face it, Matt Stafford outside in the cold is not that much better than Jared Goff. Jared Goff finally learned how to do something in it. The difference is he learned how to play with the gloves on. And he doesn't have the smallest hands in the NFL anymore. He's not the T-Rex of the NFL. That's Kenny Pickett, guys. 9-inch hands versus Goff's 9.5. Yes, we've even seen our defensive end drop back and contain, and he was so excited he shit himself when he sacked CJ Stroud. No, Houston is not still on the team. He was waived. He was waived about 2 weeks after that, and he was picked up by the Browns, which is good for him because when he gets that excited, yes, exactly. I think the Eagles are coming to town, boys. I don't think the Rams have a shot to beat the Eagles. I'll be surprised if they do. Cup doesn't look as good as he used to. Kyron Williams is still a good run. Yeah, I think in the AFC it's still the Chiefs until somebody knocks them off their block. I just do. Playoff Chiefs is different than regular season Chiefs. Houston was waived for shitting himself. James Burgess, good to see you. You're usually not here this early. Yeah, we dropped him. I think it was just before the Bears game, correct? And that was yeah, it was just before the second Bears game, and he was picked up by Cleveland Browns. Right, Broski, that's where I'm at. I hope the Lions wear the black uniforms and blue helmets for the rest of the playoffs. I'm just saying, he was so excited to be in a spy and have a chance to sack somebody, he had to poop. Home with the flu bug. How goes it? I'm doing great. I hope you get well soon. Chicken noodle soup, saltine crackers, and lots of water. Yes, I'm drinking water, people. I'm cutting down on the Mountain Dew. I've been cutting down on smokes. Yeah. Hi, Dorn. Baby shark. Doo, 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 doo. Yes, Jim Jackson. I'm just saying that was bad. Yes, we can wear the alternates when we're home. Oh, Mike Marsh, how did Darnold lose from shitting the bed on Monday night? Well, he at least lost the franchise tag, which would be 45 million plus. So I'm thinking at least 20 million because he'll probably end up going somewhere else. I don't think he's getting a 30 plus $1 million contract with Minnesota now. Hey, Pat Rothwell's in the house. Good to see you. We got 42 people watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Supports the channel, supports everybody that I go through, including the people on X, because I go through Ken the Bear fans. Dorn's here. Oh shit! There goes the neighborhood. Yeah, he had to finally show his face. He eventually had to show up after losses. Much respect to him for coming in. So third place is next to fourth place, next to second place, all on the couch watching in the basement for the rest of the playoffs. Congratulations. But our big dent in that couch is still there. Don't fuck it up, guys. I don't think he's going to the Bears either. I think Darnold ends up with either the Raiders or Nola. That's what I think. Yep. Yeah, and that's just it. The talent has finally came together in Philly. Yeah. I hope he doesn't go to Pittsburgh. I just don't I think that would be bad for him right now because he did have a good year. Let's I mean, as much as we want to shit on Darnold, he had a great season. He proved he can be a starting quarterback. This was his first time in clutch situations where so much on the line and he failed. And it looks really bad. But look at the totality of work throughout the season. He was great for 13 of those 14 games. One of the games was a defensive win. So let's not poo-poo it too much. I agree. And and a lot of people don't credit Kyron Williams enough for the Rams. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think the Eagles cover the point spread. I think the point spread I read was like 6.5. I think it's a 3-point game, but I think the Eagles end up with the win because they have the better defense. Hey, Broski, are you on any Bears podcasts or shows? They're all live. I've seen them on some Bears ones because I go over there. Best news for Lions, they can't tag and trade now to add draft capital. Right. I think the Ravens Bills game will probably be the closest contested game there is. Both teams are doing a lot of the same things good. That Bills defense stepped up after looking like shit for 3 straight weeks. That's why I didn't count on them to win in the wild card. It looked like they were ready for a letdown. That's just what I saw. Offensively, they were good, but defensively, they were falling apart. They lost 2 out of their last 3. So they did well to shut down the Broncos offense, and that's all they had to do. If they shut down the offense, their offense is going to score. I don't care how good the Broncos defense is. And I said that. I said the offense, the defense was doing everything it could through those first 3 quarters to keep the Broncos in that game, and the Broncos offense just couldn't do anything. See, now Bill T, NFL wants Detroit versus Rams NFC Championship game. I don't think it's coming down there. I think it's going to be Eagles versus Lions. Not football related, but my eldest son's third in points for ice cart racing. His race was oh, congratulations, Michael Marsh. But Belichick has to little broski. Yeah, he's here. How you doing, Dunbar? Good to see you, brother. Um, I wanted to address that because in order for Bill Belichick's son to be able to take over at University of North Carolina, he has to be there at least a year. So I don't think he's leaving for the NFL. He has to be there at least a year. Oh, broski. Oh, here we go. You guys are gonna go at it in the chat a little bit. Uh, these guys go way back with the crap talking between them, and they can do that between themselves as long as they're not directing it at not personal hate, guys. That's all I ask. I think the Lions are really going to bring the heat on Saturday. What do you think? Well, if you look, they you don't really have to bring the heat. The pressure has to collapse from the defensive interior. And I think the loss of Pat O'Connell is going to hurt, but the emergence of Levi Onwuzurike more as a better defensive tackle lately with DJ Reader, I think those guys are going to be collapsing that interior better because they are weak at the left guard position, and that's DJ Reader's side as the DT too. Levi Onwuzurike can create a pass rush on his own, whether with the double team or not. We saw that. It doesn't equal sacks, no, but it equals pressures. Um, the other thing is with our defensive end, no, Hutchinson's not playing this week. He's not been activated. There's no way he gets activated this week. Um, no. Eh, At earliest, and this is what I'm saying. At earliest, it'll be the NFC Championship game. Oh, God. Uh, Oh, we talked about that. But at the same time, Caleb didn't have a bad season. He just had a bad team in a bad O line. Pokey do sending the shout out to Don Berg as well. Um, I think Hutchinson, even if he's activated this week, it'll be after 4 p.m. just so he can hit the practice window. It'll be 21-day activation, not to play in the game. But it was great to see him in week 18 running on the sideline, celebrating with the guys, jumping up and down. It gave me a lot of hope that, yes, he's coming back for the playoffs. I just don't know when. But they did say the NFC Championship game at the earliest. What's the current injury news kind of last couple days? Um, Yesterday was a walkthrough. So yesterday, Zietler didn't play, but they said that was more of rest because it's a mild hamstring that he's probably a go for Saturday. Ennis Rakestraw was sick with whatever that bug that's been circling around the NFL teams, including Detroit lately. And then the other guy that was out, God, let me look it up because I'm drawing a blank. I've got the list, but it's not right in front of me yet. Pat O'Connor, he's done. He's done for the year. At this Mike Trophy is Detroit's to lose, even if it's first seed versus first seed. KC doesn't stand a chance. Thank you, Mike Marsh, and that's coming from a Packer fan, guys. That's not That's not one of our guys saying that. Monty should suit up, but only to play if needed. I had the feeling Monty's playing. We usually run with our running backs. They get about 30 touches a game total. That's with the backups and whoever's starting. I think he's going to get around 13, maybe 15 snaps, and that's rushing and receiving combined. And I'm leaning more towards the 13 side. I think 17 of those snaps, 100% are Gibbs. See, but Ken Dorsey isn't who's on our team. It's John Dorsey. So here's an interesting one for you. Jack Box bought watches for all 15 members of the Lions punt coverage after setting the NFL record for net punting average on a season. That's why Jack Box is a first team All Pro. He broke the record for net average at an average of 3 punts per game. It's crazy. And let's put it this way: do you think Kirby deserved the Pro Bowl or the All Pro more with leading the league in interceptions and being third in tackles as a safety? Brian Branch was first in tackles and sixth in interceptions with where he was. Uh, that is not my real son, Don Bird. That's a troll account, and I block him at every chance when he comes on anymore because I'm sick of the stupid stuff. So Brian Branch deserved the Pro Bowl. Kirby Joseph deserved the All Pro. They didn't want to have both of them in the same one. Thank you, Jim Jackson. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, and Kirby equals all pro. Also, fuck the Lions. Yeah, I know. I know you hate the Lions, but at least you said something that was true. Yeah, all pro is much better, and I think they got it right. You put Kirby as the all pro, Branch as the alternate, and then in the Pro Bowl you make Branch the Pro Bowler, and he's the alternate because he's in the second team alternate. Oh wow, really didn't know they had me full. Oh yeah, I had to start blocking them. I don't have a Jeremy Paulrick Jr. I don't even have my oldest son alive anymore, so it was really irritating me. So that's why it got to a point where I said, "You need to stop," and he wouldn't stop. So every time he comes into the chat, I block him now. My oldest son is why I do this. He told me to do something with my football knowledge. I know he fooled everybody. He even has Dan Thornton fooled. He thinks that that's really my kid in the chat. Yeah, I agree with that. Moonscar Blade, he's probably the same guy as Don Burr's dad. There you go. It's that type of trolling. I also continue to say the Pro Bowl needs to get moved after the Super Bowl and have stakes for the game again. You know what? I would love to see them do what they used to be. You know, it used to be one or two players from every team would assemble a 53-man roster for the Pro Bowl, and it would be versus the Super Bowl winner 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. That way, you could see if the best in the NFL could combine and put a playbook together to beat the world champion team. I think that would be really cool. I think that's a great format. And I agree. And I also think the Pro Bowl needs to go back where it starts hitting again and be a real game. I'm tired of this flag football bullshit. This politically correct movement. Hard hitting is what football was based upon, and we keep taking more and more out of it. So if the offense is doing what it's supposed to do, which is run the ball down Washington's throat with the 30th run defense they have, and AG's yeah, but then you got to make it AFC versus NFC, and it didn't work. That didn't work for them because they did it with this powder puff football thing where it was half-ass tackling. Remember that they had that on there, and that didn't work. It didn't draw eyes to the game. I think we got to have like one of these big owners or all the owners like pool of money and say the winner takes it all and have like a trophy with it that's full of money for the players and the coaches to share. Just saying, everybody, all the owners drop in $100,000. So they tried the home field advantage thing. It didn't work all that well. So Zietler's supposed to play. Rakeshaw, he might be back. I'm gonna see what the status is with him. He's off the IR. He was a full go last week, and then well, he's sick. Same thing that Mosley had. I think Mosley might be the odd guy out of everybody in there. Mosley and Vildor are the 2 that I think have to go, because going forward, Carlton Davis, same kinda stakes as the MLB All-Star Game. Make it not a waste of time to watch. Well, they did away with the All-Star Game being that now too. That's not the case anymore because it wasn't working. Um, you had to add some substance to it. Yeah, Brent DeWitt, it was, early '70s. I think the last one was 1974, and that was before I was even a fan of football. I admit it, I wasn't a fan of football till I was 5 watching it on my dad's lap, and I might have been before that because I was born into a Lions-loving family. But at the same time, it is what it is. The Lions' rushing defense is 4th in the NFL right now, and the Commanders is 30th. We give up 98 yards on the ground. They give up almost 140. I think it was 136.8. Both teams have given up 18 touchdowns, and both of the teams, most of their touchdowns come from outside of the red zone. So if you lose containment, it's tackling that's the issue still, and it has to do with the fact that we've got a practice squad body of players in that outside linebacker group for the Sam, for whenever Anzalone and Jack Campbell's off the field. But the difference is most of those big runs happened right after Anzalone got hurt, and a week later Rodrigo gets hurt. Until Anzalone came back, we were giving up the big chunk runs because we didn't have somebody other than Jack Campbell on the opposite side of him that could tackle anybody. Now that Anzalone's back, what happened? They got in the red zone 10 times. Did we see a touchdown scored by Minnesota? No, they didn't score a touchdown from the beginning of our game until the 3rd quarter of the Rams game in the wild card round. So it is what it is. Passing game, they don't give up a lot of yards, they give up more touchdowns. They are not good at stopping teams from scoring touchdowns through the air. They've given up. Yep, we are going to ground and pound Saturday. That's exactly what it is. And we're in this city that is so rabid for a Super Bowl winner. This is why we needed the 1 seed. Y- We're going to feed. You remember how electric it was when we played the Rams in Tampa Bay, where the crowd went nuts? It set the record as the second loudest stadium in the league. Only Arrowhead was louder. It's going to be more of the same, and we might break Arrowhead's record. Think about that, because we're a dome stadium. Arrowhead has more because they have more fans. They have 85,000 fans in that stadium because it's outdoors. But with 62,000 people indoors, if they get all humming at the right time, we could end up breaking the sound record. Imagine if we're hitting 140 decibels inside a dome. Will the windows break? It's just nothing to think about. I don't think we're a one and done. Damn, Brent DeWitt, I was in like freaking 3rd grade. Oh, so you got me by a couple of years too. It's okay. I like being an old head fan. It gives me a little bit of reference to go back to. The guys like Gary Danielson we had when we drafted Andre Ware, when we drafted Terry Fair over Randy Moss, drafted Eric Ebron over Aaron Donald. I mean, the list goes on. There's plenty of people that we could have had. Ernie Sims over Patrick Willis. Teddy Lehman, man, he looked like he was going to be good and just couldn't keep from getting injured. Jordan Dizon, my God, what a whip. Gosder Cherilus. I was probably one of 5 Lions fans that actually knew who Laken Tomlinson was coming out in the draft that year. Did I expect him to get picked there? Hell no. Greg Landry. Yes. Yes. The paper lion. George Plimpton. You know, we have been through a lot as Lions fans. The Barry years being that good, so close, but yet so far. The Stafford Megatron years being so close, but yet so far. And now we see this. And I said it at the preseason, and I'm going to say it again now. This was the best roster, top to bottom in the NFL, including the practice squad. Because guess what? Them practice squad guys and the ones we poached off of other teams have made a difference. That's why we're 15-2. Between that and our coaching staff saying, "Hey, I know what you did for them. I want you to do that for us because we don't have time to teach you the scheme. We need you now because we're that injured." We went from 22 to 16 in 1 week, and yet at game time that week in Chicago, oh, they still have 22 on the IR. Guys, Willikers. When 4 of the players was already off of it. We added 2 more back to the roster the following week. I get sick of that narrative where they say, "Oh, they're so injured." But when somebody loses, "Oh, we were injured." Injuries are not an excuse. You lost because you lost. Either your coach didn't do it or the players didn't do it. If the Lions win the Super Bowl, do they have a pride parade? Ha ha, that's funny, Brandon. If the Lions win the Super Bowl parade will be down Woodward. 100%. It'll start probably by either Orchard Lake or Square Lake Road, go right down straight to 5 Ford Field. Basically run the course of the Woodward Dream Cruise. Hey, good luck with that, Mike Marsh. That's great. Get him. Don't you guys got to resign Jacobs? Wasn't that a 1-year deal for that 13 million, or did you guys get him for 2? I want to say kudos to the Vikings and Packers. They had a great season. It just came to an end. I go. I, I don't understand this hate that we do coming on the channels and talking shit. Yep, just takes 3 wins. Amen. And I'm not saying we can't do it, and I'm not saying we can. They got to get it done, and we got to see them do what they've been doing all season, which is focusing on the task at hand, doing the best they can do. I mean, our 2 losses were 1-score games. One to the Bills, one to the Bucks. Guess what? Both of those were playoff teams. So I people say that we're not battle tested, and I laugh because we basically played every single playoff team except Washington and Philly, and can't play the Steelers. When we win the Super Bowl, the state of Michigan will give JMO a permit to carry any weapon he wants to. Might license his they might license his feet as moving as a vehicle that's safe for highway consumption, highway travel. Yeah, Danielle Hunter left Minnesota, went back to his hometown, won a division, won a playoff game, and watched his old team be a first round exit again. 100. Pete, welcome to the jungle. Commanders, they are going to get beaten down, torn, and ripped apart. Go Lions. Oh, enjoying some Campbell's chicken and kneecap soup. Sounds good. Sounds good. A little crunchy at times. Thank you, Pete. Go Lions, 100%. Love it. You guys are coming in here. Mark Oram just sent me a Facebook request. That's kind of odd. What have you people been telling him about me? I don't know what he sent you one, but he's one of my friends and he helps runs my Motor City Kneecap Biters page. So that might be why he's trying to add you, Moonscar. He's legit. Mark Orum's good. Orum's Forum's a good show. He's more of a factual guy, just straight gives it like it is and gives his opinion as he sees it. I like him. He's a good guy. Oh, the Silver Dome was so great, but at the same time, that dome doesn't do the same as what our dome does now at Ford Field. But with that many people in there, because you're talking about a 83,000, Orem doesn't like me, but I like his work anyway. I hear you. Orem is a good guy, though. I know him personally. We talk all the time. We've talked on the phone. We've talked. We used to talk on my Monday shows that I did on the Facebook page before I had a podcast. And we just decided that we wanted to make ours more podcast friendly, and then they changed it to where you can't go into groups with lives anymore. You had to have a page, and it changed the dynamic, but we can all still share our podcast there. It 80,000 fans versus 62,000, 100%, it would be louder, but it doesn't reverberate the same as what Ford Field is my point, Brian Stover. I was there for 108,000 people for WrestleMania for Pontiac Silverdome. I was there for when the Lions won their only playoff game in the '90s versus Dallas. Minnesota's next reclamation project, D-Law. He ain't leaving Jacksonville anytime soon. They've locked up so much money into him. Trevor Belky's an idiot. Oh, Eagles. We've already faced the Rams. We faced the Rams twice in the last couple of years. I want the Eagles. I want the Eagles with this team because I think we're better than we were the last time we played them, and we almost won with a bad defense. Remember that? The home opener in week 1 in 2022? The year we got rid of Hawkinson by week 8 because he ran the wrong route. Supposed to run a stick route, stick. He doesn't stick. He goes on the go route and on a post, and James Bradbury's where he used to be. I think the difference is going to be the game time temperature, Moonscar Blade. It's supposed to be in the 20s with a 12-mile-an-hour wind, which is going to drop that temperature significantly. It's going to feel 10 degrees cooler. And I think the cold affects Lamar and Derrick Henry more. I just got a feeling because when you're down there in Maryland, in Baltimore, it's warmer. Even though it's on the water, it's warmer because you're on the east side. Whereas Lake Erie's on the west side, and the water blows across the wind blows across the water and gets colder. I hope that makes sense how I'm wording it. That wind bites through you when you're off the lakes, and Buffalo's right there. Love needs to start playing more like Rodgers and less like Favre. I agree with you. I agree with you. But at the same time, coming off of injuries twice, he was going to look more like Favre. I don't think he was 100%, and I don't think he should have started this game. I think you guys should have rolled the dice with Willis in the. I hate to say that, but I think Love should have sat a week. I think if you'd rolled the dice with Willis and had him start AFC, Buffalo or KC, not make them lean on the run more. No, you need to lean on the run more, which would I think makes. I think it's going to give the edge because of Josh Allen. I just at home and the way that defense is playing, like they did versus the Broncos. I think they're going to win. When we traded Hawk, Goof had 6 picks at the time, and 5 were targeted at Hawk. I know, I know. We pointed it out so many times. How many impactful plays? Buffalo just got a shit ton of lake fence. So yeah, and there's more snow on the way for the weekend. That's what I'm saying. And that wind that comes off the lake is so bitterly cold because it's coming out of that northwest across Lake Ontario, I believe it is. Yes, Lake Ontario. Also, no joke, first time I've ever found a small chicken bone in my knee cable soup. Not sure if it's a kneecap though. Oh, that's funny, but it's not funny because a bone in your soup. Excuse me, waiter. What's this bone doing in my soup? That's a kneecap. No, we resigned a lien. Brian Stover. We resigned a lien right after Hutchinson went down. I think KC will be one and done. Buffalo or Baltimore. I think Buffalo goes. Yeah, we signed him to a 4-year contract, 4-year extension. He's here for the long haul. Harpazo, it's Brent. It's getting to that time where I do my favorite thing, and it's y'all's too. We get to take a look at the human FTP. FTP. Now all we got to worry about is Jamison Williams, and I think he's getting his fifth year option picked up, and Hutchinson's going to get his 5th-year option picked up, just like we did with Sewell and everybody else. We're going to do it right down the road. Yeah, but their defense has played up to par, except again, and I want to really, really, really stress this about Week 18. They sat 3 offensive starters and they sat 4 defensive starters, and they lost 38 to nothing to the Broncos. 7 starters sitting out is not your practice squad. And there's only one QB that's undefeated in college and pros versus Patrick Mahomes, and that's one Jared Goff, 4-0. 2 times he beat him in bowl games with Cal during the Kingsbury flop years, the beginning of the Kingsbury flop years, and 2 times he's done it with Detroit. Or I mean, with the as a pro, once with the Rams, once with Detroit. One was that Monday Night Football game where the record for highest amount of points was scored when Goff out Mahomes. Lions versus Buffalo Super Bowl. I think it's Lions versus Chiefs, but and the Lions win. But either way, I'm good with it. I think it's Lions coming out of the NFC. With it being at home, we got all that to play for, and the fans being rabid. I think that's going to be the difference. It's going to make lots of teams false start and cost themselves field position, like we've seen already. How many false starts did Minnesota have in the red zone where it took them to where it was a 3rd and long or a 2nd and long where they failed to convert? fight, more heart, more grit. And if we lose our coordinators, we lose our coordinators. It can't happen till after we're out of the playoffs. So all we got to do is win, baby, and they can't talk to them anymore. Time to talk about my sponsor. It's Branded Service at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road. In Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Stop in and check us out. Used tires starting at $45 and up. New tires. Call to get your quote. They are delivered within 1 to 2 business days. 810-233-8230. Talk to George or Red. If you mention this ad, you get $25 off a set of new tires. If you need a set of used tires, you get $10 off when you mention the ad. Tell them Smoking Jeremy B sent you. And that's basically it for today. A lot of people want to blame Darnold, but I mean, his O-line was so bad he got sacked 9 times versus the Rams. The Rams took what AG did in week 18 and said, this is what we're going to do to him, boys. All we got to do is blitz and give him pressure. He'll fold like a cheap suit. Because the O-line folded like a cheap suit. That O-line was so bad, and for everybody to say it's all Darnold, it wasn't. But Darnold under pressure looks like Darnold of old. and I'm going to say it again. The Packers made a mistake playing Love while having that elbow injury. He didn't look right. He didn't look like he was holding the ball right. His mechanics were off, and you could see it. They should have sat him all week and let Malik Willis practice with the first team and just let him roll. And one thing I can say is versus the Lions, Darnold didn't look that bad as far as throwing picks. Because that was the blueprint in New York, because they had an awful O line. It was hit Darnold and he's done. That's all you had to do is hit Darnold. Remember, we got 1 sack in that game with Matt Patricia's defense that rookie year of his when we played them the first week. We got that 1 sack which made him throw an errant throw to Glover Quinn, who took it for a pick 6, and that's all we scored. Because after that, we stopped blitzing. We never got the goddamn blitz going again. And he just carved up our weak ass zone defense that Matt Patricia liked to run. God, I'm glad that fat bastard's gone. The only thing worse than having Matt Patricia here was having Matt Millen as GM. That's it. Oof. How crazy is it that in the entire time Matt Patricia was here, we had 13 wins, and this year we had more wins than his entire. What concerns me most about Washington losing containment on Jaden Daniels. That's it. I'm not scared of Scary Terry. I think we can put a meek on him and bracket somebody with him. Dwami Brown is good, but not great. But it is that time where I have to say, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love. I saw a lot of good with Minnesota, and I saw a lot of bad in the last couple of weeks.